Okay, good morning. So I guess that we can start now. Okay. There are just a few members left. So remember, you have a homework about Netflix, Porter Five Foxes analysis. Okay. So before you review and present your homework, I would like to review a little bit about Porter Five Foxes. Again, Porter Five Foxes include on the relevant parties in the microenvironment of an organization, including customers, suppliers, competitors, threats of new entrants. Threats of new entrants means new competitors that haven't appeared in the market yet, but they will be existing shortly in the in the soon time in the short term future. They will appear and will directly compete with us. Okay, and we also have substitutes. So these are five foxes according to Porter. And when you analyze Porter, when you give the analysis about Porter five forces, you need to identify the level of power of each of these forces. For example, in the case of customers, you need to analyze if the customers have so high power or significant power or the medium level of power. And if the customers have much power, it means that customers can affect the business very, very significantly, maybe in the positive way or in the negative way. So every action an individual customer can directly negatively or positively influence the performance of an organization. Okay, so you need to identify the level of power that customers have, about whether the customers have much power or medium power or low level of power. And it's similar to the case of suppliers, competitors, threat of new entrants, and substitutes. And okay, previously I shared with you the clip about Netflix. Netflix. So I would like to copy and paste the link again for your review. Okay, so you can give me some general recommendations for the case of Netflix. So you can suggest some ways that Netflix can consider in order to manage their forces in a more effective way. For example, what they should do in order to maintain a good relationship with customers, what is the thing, what is the recommendation that they can follow in order to manage their competitors in a more effective way. Not really manage, but they can influence, they can somehow control. So, okay. So you have around 5 minutes to review the homework, then we can begin. Oops, I'm sorry, I almost forgot that we still have two presentations about the SWOT analysis of two groups. Remember, we still have two groups that haven't presented the SWOT analysis of a selecting firm yet. So are you ready? You can do it now. Group number 1 and group number 2. Are you here?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So are you ready yet? And do you want to start now?
Can you give me 5 minutes?
Okay, so now I will give you 5 minutes for the group presentation and also 5 minutes for on the class to review your homework. We will start at around 8:20. Okay, 8:20 we will begin.
Teacher, before it, you will also presentation on group one đó teacher. Kiểu
À,
là cô có hai bài thuyết trình thì bài lớn với lại cái bài 5 phút thì nhóm con đã thuyết xong rồi đó cô, nên là ở cái phần homework thì hôm nay thì mới ấy, nhưng mà thuyết trình thì như group 1 thuyết đó rồi mà cô.
lần trước là có ba nhóm trình bày rồi, là group nào nhỉ, mọi người nhắc cô lại được không?
Con
Ý là nhóm của em đã thuyết trình rồi đúng không? Ý là
dạ
nhóm
đúng không? Dạ từ từ cô ơi, từ
group
mọi
nào?
người cùng con chờ con xíu đi cô.
Ok. Theo như cô nhớ thì là group 2 là chưa thuyết trình đúng không? Hôm
Hình
qua
như là group 4, group 5.
Cái đó thì
Group
đúng rồi,
4,
cái
group
đó
5
thì
đó là group
thì
3 thôi. Phải từ từ. Group 6 không, group 5, group 1 với lại group 3.
là hôm bữa là group 5, group 1 và group 3 thuyết trình đúng không mọi người?
group 1 chưa cô? Đúng rồi con nhớ rồi cô. Cái bài hôm trước đúng không cô?
Cái bài SWOT.
Đúng rồi, cái bài về làm SWOT á, phân tích SWOT á.
Ok, vậy thì tụi con chưa thuyết, vậy để lát tụi con thuyết rồi.
Ok, vậy tụi em chuẩn bị cái đó luôn nha. Mình sẽ hoàn thành cái đó luôn. Như vậy là hôm bữa là mình đã có nhóm 5, nhóm 4 và nhóm 3 thuyết trình về SWOT đúng không? Cô sẽ gõ ở đây để mọi người nhớ nhé. Rồi, nhóm 5, nhóm 4 và nhóm 3 thì đã làm SWOT rồi. Như vậy mình có nhóm 1 và nhóm 2. Nhóm 1 và nhóm 2 các bạn sẽ trình bày luôn ha. Mỗi nhóm các bạn trình bày vài phút thôi đúng không? Cũng không có phải là mất nhiều thời gian lắm. Rồi sau đấy chúng ta sẽ review cái homework này. Rồi sau đấy chúng ta sẽ học bài mới. Rồi ok. Nhưng mà hôm nay chúng ta cũng có một cái bài thuyết trình chính của nhóm nữa, thì để tránh cái trường hợp là bạn lại bị lố giờ và các bạn không thuyết trình được thì sau giờ ra chơi chúng ta sẽ làm cái bài thuyết trình của nhóm chính của ngày hôm nay ha, là nhóm của bạn Xuân đúng không? Hôm nay các bạn thuyết trình luôn đúng không? Để cô lên Drive kiểm tra coi đã nhóm nào up file lên nha.
Mà cô ơi, cái homework đó là chia cái poster file process đó, là cái đó là cô kêu 5 người hả để trả lời 5 cái khác nhau hả cô?
Cô định vậy á, cái đó là individual homework mà.
Dạ.
Thì cô sẽ mời 5 bạn. Bạn Phúc Nam hôm trước cô gọi chưa được, lát nữa trả nợ cho cô nha. Phúc Nam có ở đây không? Không biết là tham gia lớp chưa, như là chưa đây này. Đấy thì cô sẽ mời 5 bạn trình bày cho cô 5 cái của Porter Five Forces. Rồi cô đã check trên Drive thì đã thấy là có nhóm 1 và nhóm 2 các bạn đã up slide lên rồi ha. Thì cứ nhóm nào các bạn thuyết trình xong là các bạn up lên luôn, không sẽ quên nhé. Các bạn nhớ để tên của các thành viên trong nhóm để sau cô review và cho điểm lại nhé. Hình như hôm nay là nhóm của Minh Tâm thuyết trình phải không Tâm?
Dạ, theo lịch là thế, nhưng mà nếu mà hình như nhóm 1 chưa thuyết trình thì em có không biết là có đủ thời gian để cả hai nhóm thuyết trình không?
Nhóm 1 là các bạn ấy chỉ trình bày cái bài tập hôm trước trên lớp thôi, mà cái đó là in class activity thôi. Thì nó sẽ nhanh thôi, nó khoảng 5 phút là được rồi. Còn bài thuyết trình chính thì các bạn thông thường thuyết trình khoảng 20 phút. Thì sau giờ ra chơi thì nhóm của Tâm sẽ làm luôn nhé. Nên nhóm của Tâm cứ chuẩn bị ha.
coi group 1 bắt đầu trước đi cô.
Rồi, tụi em có thể bắt đầu luôn ha. Okay, so group 1, you can begin your presentation about the SWOT analysis now. And is there anyone who volunteers to give questions for group number 1? Anyone who would like to give feedbacks? Mọi người có thể xung phong đóng vai trò phản biện cho nhóm trình bày nhé. Nhóm 1 á, tức là các bạn sẽ đặt câu hỏi. Thì các bạn xung phong là các bạn cũng có điểm cộng nhé. So feel free to raise your hand and ask questions after the presentation is finished.
Can I start now, teacher?
Yes, you can.
Well, thank you. Wait for me a minute. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it now.
Welcome everyone. We are group 1, and today we're gonna talk about the SWOT, the SWOT of business. First of all, we have the strength. Business have a lot of strength in a lot of factors. For example, it has the wide variety of products with high quality. Business not only produce the typical sandals and sneakers, but it also engage in a lot of other form of shoes, such as sports shoes, tennis shoes, even shoes, especially for skiing as well. You can say that it has a lot of products for you to choose, and it also has a large distribution system. Business already has 7 branches with 2 commercial center, 2 business center, 156 marketing store, and over 1,500 dealers over our country. And it also exports its product to over 40 countries across the globe. And as far as I'm concerned, business also is a multi-field corporation, because I think to what I research, I think that it also engaged in the real estate field. Business has a lot of flexible marketing strategy, and also a very stable price. The business has maintaining the price over this year without charging higher or lower. This is very sharp in grasping the business opportunities, and also in the logo and brand name marketing as well. And another strength of business is the customer service, because it had opened more than 100 marketing stores over the country. And I think that we should move on to the weaknesses. Like I say, the customer service. The customer service is the customer service is the strength of business, but it's also the weaknesses of business as well, because even though it had opened more than 100 and more than 100 marketing store, but the sales and customer care department has not really been focused that much. And although it also has a lot of dealers, like more than 1,500 dealers across the country, but those shops that dedicated to business to business products is quite small. The last thing about the weaknesses is that even though it also has the strength of the wide variety of products with high quality for the customers to choose, it also launching too many products, which can be backfire because some product lines can be easily blurred. And the challenges. I think that we should go to the challenges. The first challenge will be the tax rates from the EU. Even though I had mentioned earlier that the BTS exported their products to over 40 countries, but in the EU they charge and the tax for leather shoe is especially higher than other products as well. So that is kind of a challenge if we want to export our product to the EU countries, and a lot of problems that business have, and they have not been that good in fixing it, while the other competitors have made great progress. And the next challenge would be the price pressure, because even though they have the strength that their price are stable and they have maintaining that price for over a lot of years, but they are more and more competitor that growing from this very field of shoes making. So that also a threat that they need to overcome. And they and the next one is the from the domestic market side, and domestic enterprises and foreign invested enterprise. And the last one would be that they don't have the needed strategy to build the image. Like, even though they exported their product to another country, like say more than over 40 countries over across the globe, but a lot of competitor within Vietnam also exported their product to other countries as well, and a lot of time they don't usually really, like, they don't really have that needed strategy to build the image. They usually that leather shoe that they make, they just put the made in Vietnam in this, but the foreign consumer really don't really that focus about the brand, because they just really love their chosen or international brand. So so without the brand name and without the needed strategy, they will never really know about the BTS brand and other brands as well. And lastly, I want to talk about the opportunity for BTS. They have already launched a new series of shoes which called BTS Hunter, and it has attracted a large number of young customers over the past few years, and they had cooperate with a lot of famous representatives and artists to make the shoes, and I think that they targeted over the young generation is very good, because even though our young generation such as us refer to a lot of international and foreign brand shoes name such as Nike or Adidas or some other brand name, but we have been started to give our attention to the BTS Hunter series as well. And another opportunities for them is that they have a very effective marketing, even though their brand is not that well known over the like in the foreign country, but it's actually very well known in our country due to the marketing and the distribution system, and of course the high quality of the shoes. And we have something more as well at the general floor segment, reaction from domestic competitor, and also the prestigious first generation. And another opportunity that we they have the supply and sure quantity as well. So yeah, that is our presented presentation. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. So I think that most of your identified factors sound reasonable, but I just have one question. Okay, you mentioned that the customer service of VTIS is one of their strengths, but you also mentioned that their customer care department has not been focused. So do you think that it is quite a conflict, and which information short did give you did tell you that okay, the customer care department has been not focused enough? How can you know this information? From which short? Can you share with me?
Well, actually, for what I researched, I can say that they have a lot of, like, over 100 marketing and advice and recommendation store, but a lot of other resources say that even though they have a lot of store for marketing and recommendation and advising and customer advice, but they don't really that focus on the on the sales and the customer idea as well. Like some customer had that not a really good feedback about those centers. So that's what I think.
Okay, so like the customer care system has not been standardized and has not been controlled in the most in an effective way. So they need to review their customer care system, and maybe they need to they can train their staff, and they can oversee the work in their customer service central department more tightly. Okay.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah, thank you. So I also have some comments for you. So remember that the weaknesses could involve the limitation of their resources, and the opportunities and the threats are related to the outside factors. So if you consider if you are talking about effective marketing strategies, if they are launching and using effective marketing strategies, it should be considered as their strength, not opportunity. Okay, so it should be their strength. The opportunities are related to the outside factors that can influence them. Okay, and they can,
Yes.
yeah, and they may intervene in the influence, but to some extent, not. For example, they may influence the competitors or the customers, but most of the time it is very hard to directly influence the macro environment. So if they have effective marketing strategy, it is the thing that they use in order to survive and compete, and they are very good at it, and you should consider this point as their strengths, not opportunities. Okay. And if you mention that they lack some strategies, their strategies are not developed well enough, it should be considered as their weakness, not the strength. Okay, so just a few suggestions for you to review. Now,
Thank you, teacher.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any further questions for the presenting group? The whole class, do you have any further questions? So we can move on to the next presentation, group number 2. Group number 2, you already finished, right? So how about group number 1?
We are group number 1, teacher.
Okay, sorry for my confusion. Group number 1 already finished.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay, good job. Okay, who next? Who is the next one? So, remember, if you ask questions, constructive questions, you can gain a bonus. So please pay attention to the presentation and feel free to ask questions.
Hello, teacher. I'm from Group 2, and today I will present about the SWOT of Shopee. As we already know that Shopee now is a very strong online market in Vietnam. So, what is their SWOT? First, it is about the strength. Shopee is now available in many countries around the world, and some research show that it has more than 50 million visitors per month, and now they account for the first place of online marketing in Vietnam. They also have a particular marketing program from 2019, and their affiliate program is very clearly particularly, and it also can get the commission quickly than other online market. About the weakness, there are many options about products which make the customer feel distracted while choosing. When we go buy something on Shopee, mm, one type of goods may be sell with various of stores, so that we cannot consider which one is good enough for us. And also the delivery fee is high and complicated. The customer needs to use the AirPay in order to get the discount. For example, the delivery fee of Shopee to deliver the goods within a city is about 20 to 25 million Vietnam dong, while in Lazada it's only about 11 million Vietnam dong. And also the security is very low. We cannot guarantee that we get the high quality of goods, or maybe some bad people they may change the good with something that have low quality. And some on the newspaper some people have told that they just deliver a rock instead of an iPhone or a clothes. About the threat of Shopee is there many publishers want to apply in Shopee, so that this make the competitive rate become very high. And we also need to have knowledge about editing picture and videos in order to promote our products or goods. And the seller needs to be creative in order to find a way to approach the customer, because the customer demand change rapidly, uh, maybe per month. So we need to find a good way to approach their demand. Finally, it's about the opportunity. Just like I said before, the product in Shopee is very variety, which create an opportunity to find a niche market. Um, it also is one of the e-commerce which is developing strongly and has several promotional programs. Uh, just we have already seen that Shopee will sell the products very strong the in 1 or 2 days each month, and the opportunities of earning money online with low price for investment. And finally, now today, because of the pandemic, everyone tends to buy things online, so that it's become one of the factor that makes Shopee become more stronger. Um, that's the end of my presentation.
Okay, thank you. Can you keep the slides because I would like to ask 2 questions. But overall, I think that you had a good presentation and Shopee is a very interesting case. So every one of us knows about Shopee, right? It's very popular in Vietnam, and it's also a very highly transforming company in the e-commerce market. So I have 2 questions for you. The first is, okay, you mentioned that the product is variety, which creates the opportunity to find a niche market. Can you explain what does it mean niche market? How do you understand niche market? And the second question is that you mentioned that they have low security as their weakness. Can you explain further? How do you know that they have low security? Is there any evidence? So do you need time or you can answer right now? Okay. The first question is about the niche market. What does it mean? And the second question is, how do you know that they have low security from any evidence or any scandal? So you may have a few minutes for discussion before answering my questions. Okay, meanwhile, I would like to, okay, um, meanwhile, I would like to give you the homework for, for you today. So you already analyzed Netflix Spotify forces, which will be presented today. And I would like to ask you to also do the analysis of Spotify forces of Facebook. But not now, you can do it at home. Facebook, okay. Analysis of Spotify forces for Facebook. I will rewrite it. Okay, so you can do this as your homework, and it's an individual homework, and I will ask you next time. So group number 1, can you answer my questions now, or you prefer to answer later?
Can I answer the questions about a net market?
Okay.
A net market is understood as a very small segment of a market compared to the entire market. This is a place formed by the next set of major players in the market for a niche and for products or service, which they consider too small to fulfill. For example, fashion is a large market that includes many smaller markets. Smaller market when segment out include women fashion, men fashion, and other type is fashion for girls, for students, for middle-aged people, official people. They continuing to segment. There will be a small next like vintage fashion for official people. So that's an example of next market.
Okay, that's right. Niche market is related to the small gap in the market. The gap is quite small, but it is also very potential. And if a business has good strategies, they can enter that market and they can be the pioneer or the dominant in the market. Yes, if they go quickly, if they go first, they can be the pioneer in that niche market and they can control the market. So, for example, we have the market such as spa for men or spa for pets. Okay, we have clothes for pregnant women, pregnant ladies. These can be considered as the niche market because in the markets we just focus on very particular customer segments, very specific customers in the niche market. So the products or the services that we deliver are not for everyone, but just focus on some very special customer segments in the niche market. And in niche market, we do not have so many competitors yet. So there is also the space for us to enter and to compete. Okay, so in the case of Shopee, they might figure out some niche markets, some areas that they have not, some areas in which there are not so many competitors yet, and they can consider entering the niche markets. So thank you. How about the question about the low security?
Yes, about the security some store they use the picture on the internet to promote their goods, and when we receive the thing that is 100% different from the picture and with a very low quality. For example, it's very long time ago on Facebook, some people said that they received a rock instead of iPhone 12 or iPhone 11. So Shopee cannot control about that aspect, and also about the delivery. Some delivery companies, they may they usually um, lost the goods of the customer, and they notify to Shopee that they didn't receive the goods, and this can make some negative as an effect to the seller and also the customer.
Yeah, okay, I understand it now. So you mean that it's very hard for Shopee to control the quality, the authenticity of the products and the products that are that are delivered via Shopee distribution channels, and it's very hard to control the sources of all the suppliers that they cooperate with. So based on this weakness, maybe customers they need to be more careful. For example, they should buy products in Shopee Mall also only, such as the Lazada Mall. So Shopee also has the Shopee Mall that will deliver the products that have good quality and authenticity. Authenticity. How can I pronounce this word? Xác thực. Authenticity. Sorry for my mistake. I would like to type it here. So Shopee may need to investigate further into some scandals or some rumors or some troubles that customers have been facing, and they may figure out some plans. They may make some plans in order to improve the cooperation with the suppliers in the near future to ensure the authenticity. Sorry, I typed it wrongly. Okay, do you have any further questions?
No, teacher.
Khánh Linh.
Yes, so I have one, like I think that I have a comment or maybe argument with you guys about the quickness. You said about the option. There's a variety option product make customer distracted while they're shopping on the Shopee. But I think in my perspective, it's also considered as a strength because when they have a lot of options for the customer to choose the product they want to buy, which means they will have engage own kind of customer preferences, and they offer different kind of choice for the customer to choose. They can buy that fit with their budget, that fits with their need from the quality. So it's which is different from the supermarket. We can see that when we go to the supermarket, if I buy something there's a limited the brand, like example, like I want to buy clothes, they don't have variety of different brand. They just have one brand that they cooperate with or associated with that supplier. So which that's why Shopee is better than shopping on the supermarket on online, because we have a different choice. So the customer also, if it's not only distracted, but I think that they will spend more time to engage with the Shopee app. They will spend more time using the app. So we can see that Shopee is trying to save the customer, or also customer space, or also they try to engage the customer as long as they can. And also, you also say that about the delivery fee is high and complicated. I think that the delivery fee is not high because it depends on the shop that you buy. But Shopee they have offer us a lot of voucher to discount for the delivery fee, or also maybe it's for free. Some voucher is for free also. They say that at this time, at this hour, if you go to the app, you can hunt the voucher, and it will give you the ticket to get the free delivery. So at this time, we can see that they try to engage the customer to come to this app, to use the benefit, and to educate. So by offering the voucher, so they can make the customer feel like they can shop with a low score, they low money, low cost, just spend money for the clothes, not for the delivery. So I think that these two weakness that you have mentioned, from my perspective, it might be the strength also. So I think that I don't know if you guys want to agree with my statement or something. You can say it right now. Yes. So that is my idea.
Okay, Khánh
No.
Linh has provide very constructive feedback, and I think that she has the reasons to support her argument. So how about the presenting group? Do you have any replies?
No, we just feel very blessed to have the idea from other groups in order to improve our knowledge and also the presentation.
Yeah, so from the perspective, from her perspective, we can see that, okay, everything has two sides. So on one side, Shopee cannot control the authenticity and the quality of every products that are sold on the Shopee platform. However, on the good side, they can provide more choices for customers. So customers can consider buying among a variety of different kinds of products from different brands. So this can help to enhance the diversity in the selection options for customers, right? So on the good side, we can recognize it. And about the delivery fees, so I agree with you that even though that the delivery fees are not always low, but however they also provide so many vouchers, and they combine and they add also so many programs, and they the customers, they can select among different choices. For example, do you prefer express delivery, or you prefer the normal delivery? So they can consider based on their needs. So I think this is also a good perspective that we can take into consideration. However, again, everything has two sides. If you want to increase the diversity in selection for customers, on another side, you have to accept the risks of providing some some products that lack quality, for example. So some not really justified products, I mean. Okay, so it's about the taste of Shopee. So we do not have much time, so every day we run out of time, so I would like to do it quickly. So now we will do the homework review. Okay, for the 5 forces, we have 5 forces, so I would like to call 5 people. Minh Quân, you can go first.
Yeah, okay, teacher. Firstly, I want to talk about the power of the customer. Customer power has a lot of similarities with the supplier power. In the customer, they have a determinant, and in the determinant, they include the number. First one is the number. The next one is importance of each individual buyer, and the next one is switching cost. So I have to say the viewers are not tied into the contract. So many viewers are paying on a monthly basis with the option to cancel subscription at any time, thereby putting even more power into hands of customer. So I have to say the power of buyer cannot be underestimated here. With the viewers, how now having the choice to watch whatever they want. If they cannot find something they decide on Netflix, they can't simply look on the competitor side for something else. Also, as stated previous, with content moving to other suppliers, it is only natural for viewers to therefore follow to content to other platforms. Henceforth, the power of buyers will always be high because of how easy it is for viewers to join and cancel subscription. For example, the industry is not very price sensitive as all the services are priced, and at very similar rate, the viewer will mainly focus on the quality of content. As January 10 to 2020, a single subscription cost $12 on Netflix, but compared to that, the Amazon Prime has $9, Hulu is has $6, and Disney have $7 a month. And I have to say to mitigate the threat, so I have the three ways to mitigate the threat. The first one is switching Scott, and the next one is video businesses. And the final one is the viewer reference, movie and TV show selection and refining the brand. And that's all my opinion to about the power of customer. Yeah, thank you to listening.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. I think that it would be better if you can type in the chat box some main keywords. Can you summarize to some main keywords so that everyone in the class can follow your explanation? Yeah. However, I agree with you that the power of customers in the case of Netflix cannot be underestimated. It means that they have significant power because the switching cost is not really high, so they might consider switching to any other substitutes or any other competitors or any other video streaming platforms that have better price or more options, so they can consider switching to any other service when they want. And there are also so many competitors in the market, so the customers can select, can choose to try some new video streaming services anytime. Okay, so I agree that the customers have significant power, but Netflix, they target so many different kinds of customers on over the world in different segments. So they need to think very carefully in identifying the strategies to cover the worldwide market. Okay, they need to have the global strategy in order to gain the customer trust and and increase the customer satisfaction in every regional market, in every region all over the world. Trong cái case của Netflix thì nó rất là thú vị ở chỗ là họ có rất là nhiều khách hàng và khách hàng của họ phủ sóng trên toàn thế giới. Sản phẩm của họ thì là cung cấp là những cái video, phim rồi movies vân vân, đúng không? Và khách hàng có thể lựa chọn xem bất kỳ lúc nào, và họ cũng có sự lựa chọn để họ có thể chuyển sang những cái đối tượng, họ có thể chuyển sang những cái kênh cung cấp dịch vụ khác bất kỳ lúc nào. Cho nên họ có rất nhiều sự lựa chọn, và cái switching cost thực ra nó cũng không phải là cao, bởi vì họ có thể ngừng cái việc mà follow Netflix bất kỳ thời điểm nào mà họ muốn để họ chuyển qua một cái kênh khác hoặc là một cái substitute khác chẳng hạn. Tức là không nhất thiết là phải coi video mà có thể là đọc sách hoặc làm gì đó khác trong thời gian rảnh. Thật sự thì theo kinh nghiệm của bản thân cô nhé, đôi khi là xem Netflix quá nhiều nó cũng gây ra một cái trạng thái là mình không được tỉnh táo lắm, bởi vì mình xem quá nhiều phim á, và nó dẫn tới việc là mình thức khuya này, nó có hại cho sức khỏe này vân vân này. Cho nên là có một cái tình trạng là đôi khi khách hàng người ta sẽ muốn detox, tức là người ta sẽ muốn có một khoảng thời gian họ không xem gì hết để họ thư giãn, họ thoải mái hơn, hoặc là họ sẽ anti internet for a short period of time. Và điều đó dẫn tới việc là họ có thể là unsubscribe Netflix trong một thời gian ngắn. Và cái việc unsubscribe như vậy sẽ khiến cho họ lười và họ không muốn subscribe lại nữa. Đó, thì cứ mỗi lần như vậy on and off, khách hàng này có thể on and off bất kỳ lúc nào mà họ muốn. Và đôi khi họ cũng có những khoảng thời gian nghỉ và không muốn xem phim liên tục, hoặc là họ có nhiều sự lựa chọn khác. Nên nói chung là power của customer sẽ rất là cao. Nhưng được một cái là họ có nhiều khách hàng lắm, cho nên bỏ người này thì còn người khác. Nói chung là phủ sóng trên toàn thế giới mà, họ có rất nhiều đối tượng khách hàng khác nhau, từ trẻ tới lớn, và họ phục vụ nhu cầu của nhiều khách hàng khác nhau. Các bạn nữ thì thích coi Korean dramas, các bạn nam thì thích coi Game of Thrones or House of Cards. Còn người lớn tuổi thì người ta sẽ thích coi những cái series về tình cảm gia đình, thích xem phim Việt Nam, thích xem phim tài liệu, thì nó có rất là nhiều cái sự lựa chọn cho mọi người. Đó là lý do mà Netflix vẫn có thể duy trì được vị thế thượng phong của mình, là bởi vì họ đưa ra rất là nhiều cái sự lựa chọn cho đối tượng khách hàng khác nhau. Người này bỏ thì vẫn còn có đối tượng khác và phủ sóng trên toàn thế giới nữa. Okay, so I can see your summary here. Customers determinant, importance of each individual buyer switching costs. Viewers are not tied into contracts, so many viewers are paid on a monthly basis with the option to cancel subscription at any time, thereby putting even more power into the hands of the consumer. The power of buyers cannot be underestimated here, with viewers now having the choices to watch whatever they want if they cannot find something desired on Netflix. Okay, they can simply look on a competitor site for something else. So totally agree with you at this point. Okay, henceforth the power of buyers will always be high. Yeah, and in order to manage the power of buyers, Netflix, they need to enhance the quality of their products. Yeah, they need to enhance better customer service and also providing more and more alternatives for customers to select. They can increase the diversity in the choices for customers, customer preferences, and they need to design a customer loyalty program. Customer loyalty program will take care of loyal customers and will give some bonus or voucher or any gifts on some special occasions, for example. However, I think that if they try to increase the switching cost, it may not be a good idea, because, for example, if you are a customer of Netflix and you are required to pay one time per year at the beginning or at the end of the year, the payment would be very high and not everyone would accept this. So if they change their payment strategy or their payment policy, I think that it is highly possible that it can create negative influence on the business. Thật ra thì cái switching cost nó rất là khó để mọi người có thể điều chỉnh. Chỉ cần Netflix chỉ tăng lên 1-2 ngàn thôi là có thể đã mất khách hàng rồi. Huống chi mà họ đổi sang cái chiến lược là họ bắt khách hàng, họ ràng buộc khách hàng bằng cách là trả luôn một lần cho cả năm. Thì như vậy là khách hàng trả luôn một lần, giống như là các em đi tập ở Cali hoặc là các em đi học ở Wall Street English vậy đó. Một lần các em đóng tới mấy chục triệu, 60 triệu, 70 triệu đúng không? Các em đóng cho cả năm thì các em sẽ đâu có muốn bỏ đâu, bởi vì nó quá là tốn tiền. Nhưng mà Netflix thì là một cái khác. Netflix nó là một cái kênh entertainment, nó không phải là học tiếng Anh, nó cũng không phải là tập gym. Khách hàng muốn xem thì xem, không muốn xem thì thôi. Bây giờ người ta bắt khách hàng trả luôn một lần thì switching cost nó cao, nhưng mà bù lại sẽ rất nhiều khách hàng sẽ không trả. Các em thấy không, ở Việt Nam á, ngay cả khi chỉ thanh toán có 200 mấy chục ngàn hoặc là 100 mấy chục ngàn một tháng thôi mà nhiều người đã unwilling to pay rồi, là người ta đã tìm cách để mà crack hoặc là đã share nhau account rồi, huống chi bây giờ còn bắt trả luôn một lần nữa, thì cô nghĩ là họ sẽ mất khách hàng rất là nhiều. Nhất là ở thị trường như Việt Nam, chúng ta có rất là nhiều cái bản hack nè, chúng ta có rất là nhiều cái kênh mà chiếu phim lậu nè, chúng ta còn có YouTube nữa, thì các bạn trẻ, các bạn chắc chắn là sẽ không muốn trả luôn một lần nếu như mà Netflix thay đổi cái payment policy đâu. Nên là nó cũng rất là dangerous, cũng rất là nguy hiểm nếu như mà họ làm như vậy. Tuy nhiên là Netflix có thể sử dụng những cách khác, như là họ có thể improve cái customer service, họ có thể diversify cái dịch vụ cho khách hàng, và họ có thể tự làm những cái bộ phim là Netflix original. Những cái Netflix original là cái thế mạnh của họ, phim do họ tự làm thì họ sẽ giảm bớt cái sự cạnh tranh, và những cái platform khác cũng không thể được quyền phát phim của Netflix. Cho nên là đôi khi mình muốn coi phim của Netflix thì mình bắt buộc là phải tải account của Netflix, đúng không? Thì những cái Netflix original là những cái cách mà họ có thể duy trì được thị trường một cách rất là tốt. Cô ví dụ như vừa rồi cô có coi một cái series gì trên Netflix, Squid of Game. Mọi người có coi Squid of Game không? Đó là Netflix original đó. Dĩ nhiên là chúng ta cũng có những platform khác đã lấy phim đó về để chiếu lậu rồi, nhưng mà dĩ nhiên mình là những cái người mà muốn coi đầu tiên thì mình sẽ willing to pay for Netflix to watch it initially, right? Yeah, so these are some recommendations that you can think about. So now next we will talk about suppliers. Anyone? Thanh. You can share your screen if you have any notes.
Yes, okay. Wait a minute. Okay.
Đâu có máy không? Đâu có máy không?
Ôi, mà hình như là không chia sẻ được cái cô.
Ok, nếu mà em không chia sẻ được thì em cứ trình bày đi, sau đó em có thể note lại dùng cô ở cái chat box giống như là bạn Quân đã làm nhé.
Oh yes. Okay. Can you see that? See my cream? Okay. For the supplier of the Netflix, it is the powering power of the supplies focus on the ability of a supplier to raise price, reduce product quality, and availability. Supplier power is about the number, the size, substitutes, product differentiation, and switching costs. And the other is Netflix supplier power is high because the supplier make the movie and not the Netflix make the movie. And the last one is to reduce the supplier power. To reduce the supplier power, Netflix is using the backward integration, for instance. Oh, that is my homework.
Okay, can you keep your screen, please? I would like to review it. Can you keep the screen?
Okay. Yes, can you see the screen?
Yes, thank you. Okay, I can see that regarding the suppliers, you mentioned that they have bargaining power. Yeah, they have bargaining power. It means that they can increase the price, or they can reduce the quality or the quantity or the availability of the product. Yeah, and the suppliers, they can also be our competitors if they also deliver the products by themselves. So in order to when considering the supplier power, we need to consider the switching cost, which means that is it easy for us to switch from one supplier to another supplier? Netflix supplier power is very high because the suppliers make the movies. Yeah, they make the movies and they can bargain with Netflix. And if the suppliers, they deliver the products to many other competitors as well, it will reduce the competitiveness of Netflix, because we can have more options to select in order to watch the movie. So in order to reduce the supplier powers, Netflix is using backward integration. What does it mean, backward integration? It means that Netflix will control the resources of their movies, of their films, which means that they will produce the movies by themselves. And that is about Netflix original, what I have told you before. So by the Netflix original strategy, by using this strategy, they can manage the power of suppliers, and they can also manage the power of customers. You can see it. Okay, any more questions? Thật ra thì cái vấn đề của Netflix đối với suppliers là bởi vì là suppliers họ cùng một lúc họ có thể cung cấp những cái bộ phim, những cái phim của họ có thể cung cấp qua nhiều nền tảng khác nhau. Các em cũng thấy mặc dù là cũng có những cái suppliers họ độc quyền chỉ phân phối qua Netflix, nhưng mà dĩ nhiên con số này không nhiều. Những cái bộ phim trên Netflix thì đa phần có rất là nhiều những cái phim cũ, mà những cái bộ phim cũ thì mình có thể tìm được ở rất là nhiều nơi, trên YouTube và trên các trang ứng dụng mạng khác. Ở bên Mỹ thì người ta cũng có cái dịch vụ là theo như cô nhớ nó gọi là blockbuster phải không ha, tức là nó là dạng thuê băng DVD ấy. Từ hồi mà có Netflix thì cái dịch vụ này nó đã bị thất thu rất là nhiều, nhưng mà bây giờ vẫn có những người ta thích đi thuê đĩa về coi, thích thuê phim về coi, hoặc là người ta có thể subscribe một cái ứng dụng nào đó khác, người ta vẫn có thể xem được đó. Thì đó là lý do mà supplier của Netflix họ cũng cung cấp những bộ phim hoặc là những cái nguồn phim của họ cho rất nhiều những cái ứng dụng, những cái nền tảng, và họ cũng tự phân phối bằng chính họ nữa, nên là Netflix vừa phải cạnh tranh mà vừa phải phân phối những sản phẩm này, thì nó rất là khó để Netflix có thể độc quyền được những bộ phim này, trừ khi Netflix tự làm ra phim của mình. Thì đó là lý do mà Netflix họ đang sử dụng backward integration. Backward integration có nghĩa là chúng ta control được cái nguồn cung cấp của mình, gọi là từ cung tự cấp luôn ha, tự xử từ đầu tới cuối luôn, giống như là Vinamilk họ tự nuôi bò, họ tự vắt sữa bò, họ lo từ cái khâu mà nuôi bò cho tới cái khâu mà ra thành phẩm, thì là họ đang sử dụng backward integration, họ tự làm hết. Ví dụ như in the case of Shopee, nếu như mà Shopee người ta cũng tự làm ra sản phẩm để họ tự phân phối, chẳng hạn như họ tự sản xuất ra những cái mỹ phẩm dòng riêng của họ, hoặc là đồ thiết bị điện tử của riêng họ dĩ nhiên là họ không có expertise về lĩnh vực này, thì họ có thể cooperate với một cái partner nào đó, nhưng mà họ có thể làm ra sản phẩm của chính thương hiệu Shopee và họ tự phân phối, thì cái đó cũng là backward integration. Các bạn nữ mà hay mua mỹ phẩm thì các bạn cũng biết cái case của Watson á. Các bạn mà mua của Watson, ở Watson thì mọi người có thể mua ở Bitexco, Hải Triều đúng không? Nhưng mọi người cũng có thể tải app. Thì khi mà mua của Watson thì mọi người sẽ thấy nó sẽ có những sản phẩm của Watson, tức là họ không chỉ là nhà phân phối mà họ còn là nhà sản xuất và họ cũng là nhà bán lẻ. Thì đó là cái cách mà họ sử dụng backward integration để mà làm gì? Để mà manage the power of suppliers and also maintain the relationship with customers. Okay, you understand? Thank you for your homework. Now I would like to move to the next one. So we have customers and suppliers. How about competitors? Competitors, anyone? Khánh Linh.
Yes, so I'm going to share my screen right now.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so for the competitor, so you can see that the competitor, there's a lot of competitor in the streaming service industry, which is like Amazon Prime, YouTube, HBO Go, Disney Plus, and the threat. So the disadvantage, the quickness of Netflix, we can see that it's pricey. It's very expensive. Like Netflix only $39.99 a month, and Disney is $7.99 a month. And the switching cost is low, so it's making easier for any subscriber to switch among the competitor. So we can see that the competitor environment is high. So there's my recommendation, which is making and having the copyright for the high quality product, which is using the backward integration. So from here, which I suggest them like to research, cooperate, or invest to the small but potential firm or movie producer around the world, so they can make the film with different genre and language. So the product is high quality and meet all the customer needs with the diversity target customer and diversity product. So they can save and keep the subscriber to Netflix, which because these movies they have their own copyright, so there's not a lot of channel can access to stream these movie. And second my recommendation is set a suitable price for different target user. Depends on their age, like teenager or worker. We can have a different price for a different target user, and based on their salary or by their country. The country will have a different income and currency. So we have to make a suitable price. Like we cannot, we see that the price, the Netflix price for the USA user and for Vietnamese user is different because yeah, their income is the currency is different, and it will influence the pricing policy. And we can see that expensive fee, but they can set their price that amount, but they have to ensure the quality of. So it has to match between the quality of the product and for this quality of product, and which is they can offer a different variety and six different by the customer, like they pay this much of money so they can use it everywhere, every time they want. So that is the end of my presentation.
Okay, thank you. Can you keep the screen, please?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. Here.
Okay, thank you. I think that you did a great job. Khánh Linh has provided us with a very practical analysis. So she also did a research on the prices of alternative services, including Netflix and Disney. So I agree with you that Netflix, even though they are the leader in the streaming video market, in the video streaming market, but we have to agree that, okay, the price is the biggest concern. Customers consider price as the highest barrier for them to use the service. So maybe they need to consider their pricing strategy depending on customer segments and depending on the regions. For example, in the Vietnamese region, maybe they can design more suitable pricing strategy, or they can break down the payment into sub-periods, such as pay one time for 2 weeks, for example. They can divide they can reconsider the payment policy. Yeah, it's maybe an option, but yeah, giving the pricing strategy is not an easy thing to do. We need to plan it very carefully, and we need to do the strategic planning, the strategic analysis very carefully. But I agree with you that the price is the biggest concern. Okay, and in order to compete with the competitors, Netflix, again, they also need to invest in the customer loyalty program, which is the one that I have already mentioned, because if they can maintain customers, they can compete with the competitors more strongly, more effectively. So they may need to figure out some ways to increase the loyalty of customers without changing their switching cost. Các em cũng biết rồi, như hồi nãy cô có giải thích là cái switching cost nó là một cái yếu tố nhạy cảm và rất là khó có thể thay đổi, cho nên là họ cần phải đầu tư vào những cái cách nào đó để có thể giữ chân khách hàng một cách tốt hơn, chẳng hạn như là những cái dịch vụ chăm sóc khách hàng, hoặc là những cái quà tặng, những cái khuyến mãi, hoặc là họ có thể làm partners với những cái đối tác dịch vụ khác. Cô ví dụ nha, như là Netflix có thể cooperate với một cái dịch vụ nào đó khác trên mạng để có thể mang lại nhiều ưu đãi cho khách hàng hơn, chẳng hạn như các em vừa coi Netflix và các em vừa sử dụng được một số những tiện ích, chẳng hạn như các em vừa được voucher một học tiếng Anh, một cái khóa nào đó, hoặc là các em có thể học một cái Google Certificate nào đó khi mà xem phim của Netflix chẳng hạn. Tức là họ có thể làm đối tác chiến lược của một số các dịch vụ khác và mang lại nhiều tiện ích hơn cho khách hàng. Như vậy họ sẽ sẽ tăng cái switching cost của khách hàng hơn, nhưng khách hàng lại không phải trả nhiều tiền hơn. Đó, thì cái đó cũng là một cái idea. Và ngoài ra thì đối với những thị trường khác nhau như bạn Khánh Linh có trình bày thì họ nên có những cái chiến lược về giá khác nhau. Chẳng hạn như ở Việt Nam thì người Việt Nam rất là ngại trả nhiều tiền cùng một lúc, thì họ có thể figure out ví dụ như 2 tuần trả một lần với một con số ít hơn, hoặc là có những cái mức giá ít hơn. Chẳng hạn như bình thường mình có 2-3 account thì tương đương với lại hơn 100.000 đúng không? Thì bây giờ các bạn trẻ Việt Nam các bạn cũng chia nhau ra, mỗi người chỉ coi đúng một cái account và mỗi tháng chỉ trả có 50 mấy nghìn thôi chẳng hạn. Thì Netflix họ có thể set một cái strategy như vậy là dành cho individual watching, just 40 or 50,000 Việt Nam đồng per month, or yeah, it may be more potential, maybe possible. Okay, thank you very much. Very good analysis. Okay, I hope that it will provide you with some consideration. Now, I would like to move on to the next one. Threat of new entrants. Anyone? Threat of new entrants. Who are they? They are the potentially existing competitors. Okay, Minh Quân, because you already volunteered, so I would like to give a chance to another one who rarely speaks up. Okay, Phúc Nam, are you there? Tâm. Okay, Tâm, can you wait a little bit? Sorry, Phúc Nam.
Yeah, okay.
Phúc Nam, one more time. Okay, so now I will record this second time. Phúc Nam owes me 2 times. Okay, I will go back to you later. Tâm, can you do it now?
Yes. Wait, I'm sharing. Oh yeah.
Bạn nào mà cô gọi mấy lần không được là cô nhớ tên hết đó nha, cô nhớ hết á. Bữa sau cô sẽ đọc bạn đó nha.
I will talk about the threats of a new entrant. The threats of new entrant is a very real and serious issues of Netflix with an increasing number of organizations deciding a large similar service with the tier content such as Apple, Disney, APO, and Principal, BBC, and ITV. The size of their organization also meant in a total cost of technology and marketing would not be an issue. Why many customers will be have live subscription with will not double of time to then subscribe to do many services is not longer available, so they can decide to close their accounting. Yeah, and in the Vietnam have a more a website or we can see a film freeze, and that is the challenges for the Netflix in when some that's a theater a Netflix in Vietnam or some country. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, you were able to mention the most important issue of Netflix is that they have potential competition from some big corporations such as Apple or even YouTube, Google, HBO. They may not be the direct competitors of Netflix now, but they can do it in the soon time, in the near future, because they also have strong resources. They also have the brand name, the network, and resources. So they, if they want to compete with Netflix, okay, the market would be much more complicated, would be much more competitive. So we need to consider some solutions for Netflix in this case. Yeah, but again, if they are a technological company, the only solution for them is to keep innovation, keeping innovation all the times, investing in more options for customers, investing in re-innovating the business model, cooperating with some partners, diversifying the selections, and try to using the backward integration strategy more effectively in order to manage the suppliers and customers. Nói chung là cái việc là threat of new entrants là không thể nào tránh khỏi, nhất là khi chúng ta đang thành công. Các em cứ thấy đi, khi mà các em đang thành công một cái điều gì đó thì chắc chắn trong tương lai gần các em sẽ có đối thủ cạnh tranh trong cái field đó của các em. Sau này các em ra cuộc đời cũng vậy thôi. Khi mà mình làm một công việc gì đó mình làm giỏi và mình bắt đầu có thành tựu và người khác thấy mình làm được và thấy mình làm có vẻ như là easily thì người ta sẽ không sớm thì muộn người ta cũng sẽ join cái market đó với mình và người ta cũng sẽ cố gắng để compete với mình thôi. Cho nên là cái việc của mình đó là có lẽ là không thể nào mà tránh khỏi tất cả các cuộc cạnh tranh được, nhưng mà điều mà mình có thể làm đó là mình cố gắng làm cho mình tốt hơn mỗi ngày. Như vậy là Netflix người ta không có sự lựa chọn nào khác, bản thân họ là một công ty có nền tảng và công nghệ thì họ phải đầu tư nhiều hơn về những cái mặt về công nghệ, họ phải re-innovating the model, tức là họ phải cố gắng giống như là cải tiến mô hình kinh doanh nhiều hơn, đem lại nhiều sự lựa chọn cho khách hàng hơn, hợp tác với những đối tác và làm đa dạng hóa sự lựa chọn nhiều hơn này, và cố gắng sử dụng cái backward integration strategy một cách hiệu quả hơn. Thì đó là những cái việc mà họ phải làm thôi. Thì đó là những cái cách duy nhất, hoặc là họ có thể considering là cooperating with their potential competitors, tức là những cái đối thủ cạnh tranh tiềm năng của mình có thể hợp tác với họ mà. Đây đâu phải là một cuộc chơi khốc liệt mà một sống một còn đâu, đôi khi chúng ta cũng có thể hợp tác với nhau, giống như là những cái đơn vị giao hàng nhanh đó, như là Shopee hay là Lazada thì đôi khi họ cũng có thể cooperate với nhau để họ chia sẻ những cái nền tảng, chia sẻ những cái mạng lưới về phát triển nhanh và nền tảng về công nghệ. Họ vẫn có thể hỗ trợ nhau và vẫn có thể là fair players in the market. Đó thì mọi người có thể cân nhắc về những yếu tố này ha. Now we have one more thing to consider. How about substitutes? Anyone? How about Bùi Quốc Việt? Are you there? Bùi Quốc Việt. Okay, if I cannot call some members, maybe the team members can remind them for me, please. Việt ơi.
Teacher, so Bùi Quốc Việt is the member for my team, and he has a problem with the microphone right now, and we are trying to help him right now. So it might take a little bit time, teacher.
Okay. So if you have the problem with your mic, just feel free to type in the chat box and let me know. Don't worry about it. You can let me know, and then you can type your answers in the chat box. So from now, if I cannot call anyone, I would like to ask the leader of the group, all the group members, you have to check him or her for me, okay? Because we have so many group activities during the class. So to make sure that you have cooperation with each other. So meanwhile, I would like to call another one, and I will go back to Quốc Việt shortly. How about Sầm Ngọc Chi? Sầm Ngọc Chi. chi some.
Yes. Teacher,
Okay,
but,
can you?
teacher, but I can say screens. So
So
I
so
can
you can talk.
I
You can
can
talk
talk.
only. Yeah.
Yes. The fruits are substitutes. The substitutes product is a product from another industry that offers similar benefits to the consumer as the products produced by the film within the industries. For Netflix, the free of subtitle is customer get the same level of entertainment from another industry considering the three levels. Three level is high for Netflix costs and products. Diversities are the key leading factor that separates Netflix from other streaming providers. For example, YouTube accounts for a large part of total videos viewing as 12% of all time spent watching videos is on YouTube, who offers live streaming as well as record content with traditional broadcast television on the deadline, especially among young audiences who are switching to subscription video service. The risk of subtitle products is low for Netflix. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you. So substitutes, they are not really direct competitors with Netflix, but they can replace Netflix products regarding the daily using of customers. For example, instead of watching movies on Netflix, you may prefer watching some videos of your hot vloggers on YouTube. So they are not really the same things, but they can replace each other. So instead of watching suite of game on Netflix, you may prefer watching a clip or some clips of some hot vloggers such as Giang Ơi, Dino, for example. So you have more choices to select, and that's why substitutes are also very considerable. And regarding the recommendations for Netflix, again, Netflix can consider try to innovate their business model, reconsider their pricing strategies, pricing policy. They can cooperate with YouTube also in some campaigns or in some projects to make some very exclusive products for customers. And Netflix can also enhance the quality of the customer loyalty programs. Yeah, so as we have already mentioned. Rồi đối với substitutes, thực ra cái cách đối với Netflix thì nó cũng giống như là những cái gì mà chúng ta đã chia sẻ từ nãy tới giờ thôi. Đó là Netflix họ cần phải cố gắng đầu tư hơn để mà phát triển những bộ phim độc quyền tốt hơn. Họ nên hợp tác với những đối thủ cạnh tranh, thậm chí với những đối thủ tiềm ẩn. Và họ cũng nên consider lại cái pricing strategy để cho nó phù hợp hơn với từng khu vực, làm sao để không ảnh hưởng tới profitability mà vẫn có thể duy trì được khách hàng. Và họ nên cố gắng duy trì những cái chương trình gọi là duy trì khách hàng, lòng trung thành của khách hàng để giữ chân khách hàng tốt hơn á. Cái việc giữ chân và ràng buộc khách hàng là một trong những cái rất là quan trọng mà họ cần phải có chiến lược. Thì YouTube cũng là một trong những substitutes của Netflix, tức là họ không có sản xuất phim một cách trực tiếp Và trên YouTube thì chúng ta có thể coi rất nhiều thứ chứ không chỉ coi phim, nhưng mà có nhiều cái trên YouTube có mà Netflix không có. Ví dụ như các em muốn follow một vlogger hoặc là một YouTuber thì các em cũng lên YouTube các em coi, đúng không? Những cái clip về đời thường, cuộc sống đời thường, những cái mà họ chia sẻ như là podcast này kia thì trên Netflix nó không có những cái đó. Đó thì cái đó là những cái mà YouTube có mà Netflix không có, mà YouTube thì còn gọi là free nữa, Netflix thì là tính phí nữa. Thì đó là những cái mà Netflix có lẽ là họ nên consider in the near future. Okay, I can see the answer from Việt now. Yeah, the gone customer get the same level of entertainment from another industry. So the top details means that they can select all the types of entertainment from any other suppliers, from any other industry. The services here can replace each other. They are alternatives. Okay, thank you. Now we can have a break, and we can have a break until 10, and after 10 we will have the presentation from the group of Minh Tâm. Okay. Rồi, bây giờ chúng ta sẽ nghỉ giải lao nha. 10 giờ mình sẽ học, mình sẽ có bài thuyết trình của nhóm của bạn Tâm ha. Sau khi mà thuyết trình xong thì cô hy vọng là chúng ta còn đủ thời gian để mình có thể học được thêm bài mới. Thật sự là những cái bài tập như thế này nó rất là take time của mọi người. Cô biết là nó rất là take time, không chỉ ở nhà mà trên lớp chúng ta còn phải discuss, rồi chúng ta phải review, nên là chúng ta bị trễ thời gian. Nhưng mà cô nghĩ là những bài tập này rất là cần thiết để các em có thể vận dụng được kiến thức thực tế và giúp cho kỹ năng phân tích của các em nó sẽ tốt hơn rất là nhiều. Và một cái khía cạnh nữa là các em có thể debate và trao đổi với nhau, sẽ giúp cho mình hợp tác với nhau tốt hơn. Rồi, trường hợp của bạn Phúc Nam là cô gọi không được 2 lần rồi, thì nhờ nhóm trưởng của Phúc Nam check lại cái case của bạn đó giùm cô xem như thế nào nha. Rồi mình nghỉ giải lao nha. Okay, we can continue now. The presenting group, you can start.
Okay, let's wait a minute, please.
Hey, Tâm, I think that you can adjust the volume of the speaker.
Yeah.
Your sound seems a little bit small.
Yes.
So, hi teacher, hi everyone. Welcome to our presentations. We are group 3. And today we're gonna talk about the leading functions. Our presentation today, we will divide it into 4 sections. First one is introduction, and next one is topic presentation. Next one is conclusions, and the last one is Q&A. So now we shall begin.
Oh, hi everyone. My name is Ngân and I am a member of Group 3. To get started, let me introduce to you guys the definition of leading. But at first, we have mentioned about the link between leading and management. As you can see that leading is one of the 4 activity of management function or processes. As I am searching on the internet that from a century ago, French industrialist named Henry Fayet originally identified 5 elements as the basic function of management. But today, there are now 4 generally accepted functions of management, include planning and decision-making, organizing, leading, and controlling. These functions work together in the creation, execution, and realization of organizational goals. So moving on, we have some information about leading function. This talk will give you some specific definition of leading. So leading is the third basic managerial function. It's the skill of influencing people for a particular purpose or reason. Leading consists of motivating employees and influencing their behavior to achieve organizational objectives. It's
is considered to be the most important and challenging of all managerial activities. And leading focus on managing people such as individual, employee, team, and group rather than tasks. By using interpersonal skills to encourage, inspire, and motivate team members to perform to the best of their ability. Leading is also impacting or prompting the member to work together with the interests of the organization. Manager can foster a positive working environment by identifying moments when employees need encouragement or direction, and sometimes they using positive reinforcement to give praise when employees have done their job well. We have some really interesting information about managers. They usually incorporate different leadership style and gender management to adapt in different situations. Example of situational leadership style include directing. The manager lead by deciding which leader input from the employee, or coaching. The manager is more receptive to input from employees. Supporting. The manager decide which team member but focus more on building relationship within the team. And the last, delegating. The leader provide a minimum of guidance to employees and is more concerned with the vision of the project than day-to-day operation. Related to this topic, we have a question here. Who is a leader? We define a leader is someone who can see how things can be improved and who rally people to move toward that better vision. Leaders don't have to come from the same background or follow the same path. Future leaders will actually be more diverse, which bring a variety of perspectives. Next, we move to the differences between leader and managers. First, as you can see on the slide, leader who are creating a vision and manager who are creating goals. While leader take risks, the manager will work to control and minimize them. Leader are trying to do big distant goal, manager think about short-term goal. And finally, leader focus on people, they build relationship. Manager focus on the structure, they build system and processes. Actually, we have already learned this part before, but I will consider reminding us a little bit about this. That's it all I want to share with you guys. Next, we have Tam and Won will continue to present our presentation.
Okay, hello everyone. Miss, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Yes, okay. Hello everyone. My name is Tam and I'm a member for Group 2 to 3, and we are talking about the importance of the leading. Well, leadership perform a variety of responsibility that are in critical an organization success. The leader communicate organizing vision and that a member must accomplish to attain it. While an organization may include employer with a variety of skill and abilities, leadership and responsibility for directing in individual efforts towards of common of their projective. Then why is the leadership important? Well, a leader master that's inspire people, motivate them to perform to a high level, and embody company value of the culture. Effective leadership will. The first is improve the morals. There's a strong relationship between leadership and employees' morals. Specializing in the time to challenge. Then this is the best engagement. Just in leadership is one of the top factor in the helping improve employee in engagement. Account Ganglef, employee supervisor by high engaged leadership
team are 39% more likely to be engaged themselves. The third is inspire confidence. Influential leader inspire people to feel confident to their ability at their work. This had the knock-on effect to improve productivity and better quality product and service. The third is in enabling innovation. Innovation involves change, which isn't always easy. Effective leadership is essential to steer employees smoothly through the project. As MCMC puts in, to in-person employees will overhear and meet. The last is building connectment. Building trust in relationship between leadership and the team doesn't just benefit that leader. It have to create a culture, openness, and the trust throughout the organization. The last is the coordination. Well, effective leadership balance personal interest with organization objective. Leader note that employees have a personal reason for working them company. They create an environment their organization is achieves the goals without stratification. Well, the leadership is important for the success of an organization because it provides the guidance, propose and have all the understand that a long-term strategy and the goal of the business. Well, that is the all important of the one the leadership. Then we go to invite your own the listening to my partner presentation. Please, Won.
Thanks, Sam, for clarifying the importance of leadership. My name is Kwon, and I want to talk about the difference between the leader in the past and leader nowadays. As you can see on the slide, that's my illustration. In a long time ago, they used the old dictator style. That's a very out of date method because that's very long time ago. So move on to the recent decade. That's 1970. Have more innovative in the leading ways. They do it your ways, and it's very it's just an innovative. So move on to nowadays they lean style, because nowadays they have more leadership style. They follow me and we will figure out this out together. So we talk about leaders and leadership nearly every day in the business world. But have you ever tried to logically distinguish leadership in the past and nowadays? So let's begin distinguish leaders leading in the past and nowadays. So the first one is leader. In the past, they count on the stable world where change unfolds at a much lower pace, increasingly less predictive. The future is almost imaginable. Compared to that, leader nowadays, they have to manage multiple generations of workers with value, interest, face direct expectation, and less certainly than ever. So the next part, a leader in the past, they basically have to figure out what to do, and then people what, when, where, and how to do it. So compared to that, leader nowadays, they face a whole of the set expectation in the ways they motivate the people who work with and follow them. So the next part is the leader now in the past, they don't want to be managed. In the most case, they simply want to be managed. So compared to that, leader nowadays want to participate and engage in every aspect of their job, and they creating a two-way relationship is critical. So the next one is the leader now in the past, they don't care about the employees who want to share opinion with the direct jobs to employees. Compared to that, leader now they highly observant and flexible, consider multiple perspectives to create general guidelines. Additionally, leader in the past they taking name, kicking butt, and blaming or worrying. So compared to that, nowadays the leader they consider current issues, from the perspective of making things better. And finally, I want to talk about the leader. In the past, the leading in the flexible ways, they apply alpha-day methods to manage a firm or also miss the numerous opportunities. Compared to that, leader nowadays they appreciate and leverage diversity, become more innovative and proactive, anticipating problem on an opportunity. And that's all I want to share my opinion between living in the past and nowadays. So move on to the next part. I want to compare the boss and leader. So as you can see on the slide, that's my illustration between the boss and leader. Not too long ago, leaders basically have to figure out what to do, and then we will what, when, and where, how to do it. Today manager and boss leader face a whole of set expectation in a way they motivate the people who work with or follow them. So I want to talk about the difference between boss and leader. What is the difference between boss and leader? Leaders and boss can be the same thing at the same time, or two different things, depend on the quality they have as a person. A leader could be a boss, and a boss could be a leader, but not all the boss are leader. So I have the comparison between the boss and leader. First of all, boss drive people, but compared to that, leader coach people. And boss depend on authority, leader depend on goodwill. And boss inspire fear, leader just generate enthusiasm. And boss also say I, leader just say we. And boss plays the blame on the breakdown. Compared to that, leader fix the breakdown. And boss know how it's done. Leader just show how it's done. And boss use people. Compared to that, leader develop people. And boss take credit with the leader with the credit. And boss just say commands, and leader say ask. And boss finally they say go, and leader just say let's go. Okay, and that's my all about opinion about the comparison boss and leader. And so I want to invite Hung and Chi to talk more about the leading. Okay, thanks for listening.
So hello everyone, my name is Dee. In this part, I will tell you about the challenge for leading in a modern business world. So in this picture, I saw in slide the top 10 or 34 challenges mentioned by leader in each countries, and you see that the developing managerial effectiveness is account for many the area. So the developing managerial effectiveness is the development of management effectiveness is the most commonly stated problem for China's India and the United States. This underscores the need for leaders to possess a diverse set of abilities. Despite the fact that each type of skill development has been documented for decades, it appears to be still relevant in today's workspace. So, the challenge of developing the related skills such as time management, prioritizations, strategic thinking, decisions making, and getting up to speed with the job to be more effective at work. And the next is develop relationship skill. Three, three of the challenges are connected to the relationships or elements of leadership, inspiring others, developing employees, and leading a team. These are especially true in today's workplace when employers want executives to explore and participate in connections that have their direct response and team member roles. So therefore, leaders must inspire, role, and lead their team in order to establish a certain connection.
Hello, my name is Hung, and I will talk about the next challenge. The next challenge is guiding change. Guiding change is a top challenge for leaders, and leaders need to adapt at managing, mobilizing, leading, and dealing with change. And as you know, incorporating change management and enhancing resourcefulness should be at the forefront of leadership development initiatives. And to sum up, the challenge of managing, mobilizing, understanding, and leading change, how to mitigate change consequences, overcome resistance to change, and deal with employees' reaction to change. And the last challenge is managing internal stakeholder and politics. Another frequent challenge that is in the top 10 for 7 countries in managing internal stakeholder and politics. This goes to show that no matter where you are in the world, organizations are inherently political. As a result, it's related to the ability to convince and influence other stakeholders to follow the regional and global direction. Uh, in short, the challenge of managing relationship, politics, and image, gaining natural support, and managing up, getting buy-in from other departments, work on individuals. And the next part, I will introduce my partner to talk about some recommendation for leader in modern business world.
So, hi everyone. After acknowledge about the challenges for leader in the modern business world, now my section is to give some recommendations for leader in the modern business world. There's a 5 recommendations. First of all, is to setting a goals. Be proactive in establishing goals and timetable and deadline to achieve the goal is important. Don't just think a step ahead. Think about the step before, map out the process, not just what your final business plan look like. Think about the step necessary to accomplish your goals. The second is to focusing on the strength. The most effective leader consistently focus on the strength of their team member. This can help each team member feel empowered to do their best and work and contribute to achieving team goals. The third one is to forming well-rounded team. Effective leaders recognize that they can excel at everything. To overcome this challenge, they surround themselves with people who have complementary strength, quality, and skill set. And next recommendation is to take an active role in mentoring, coaching, and developing order. Provide challenging opportunity for order, promote your employees to upper management, and empower others to increase their areas of competency is important. And the last one is to understanding employee need. Effective leader have to understand and honor 4 basic needs that followers have: trust, compassion, stability, and hope. People are motivated to work with leaders that they can depend on and who genuinely care about them, and provide solid, reliable foundation and inspire their hope in the future. So to summarize, a combination of big quality along with self-awareness an important factor that make an effective leader. And beside that, I have some other effective leader can have in common include. The first one is leaders should try to transform their own thinking and be more open to fresh ideas. If leaders are able to do that, they can be an example to others to embrace change as well. And to the next is to let people know what is going on. Nobody can tell others about what future will be, but the leader definitely can tell others about the present and what they are doing to reach the desired future state. And for the last one is to don't be afraid to tackle big projects. Effective leaders think outside the box to come up with innovative solutions to business problems and creative way to reach the business goal. And today, it's not enough to arrive at the laboratory or center asking for work or an internship. It's more important to show inspirational and creative leadership by offering your own vision and ideas how they can be implemented. So that's the end of our presentations. Through these presentations, we hope that you can clearly understand about the leading functions. About the definition, is a skill of influencing people for a particular purpose or reason. And about the important, it's very important for the success of the organization. And that leads to a lot of challenges for leader in the modern business world. But that's okay. Every problem had their solutions. So that we have provided some helpful recommendations for leader in the modern business world. We hope that you will enjoy our presentations, and thanks for your listening and watching.
Thank you for your presentation. Can you keep the slides so that I and other members in the class can ask questions later? So before I give some comments, I would like to ask one member in our class to give some feedbacks about this presentation. Anyone? Okay, Khánh Linh.
Yes, so teacher, I'm from group 4, so maybe I will be the feedback group, like you have mentioned before. And yeah, so I'm going to representative for the group 4, and I want to talk to have some comment for your group presentation. And first, I want to talk about the visual. It's very clear. You guys are very creative. It's easy to follow. The word font are very. The font is very clear for us to observe it. And you have some image which makes the presentation not boring. It's very attractive. But I think that some slide you might use some image that relevant, that connect to support what you said, what your idea, instead of using the like the funny one, the cute one, the cute animation. And for the content, I really like how your presentation structure is very systematic, and you have like spend a lot of time to do the research, like find the difference between leading in the past and nowadays. Also, you can find the difference between boss and leader, and those are great, and it's very interesting information. But like I just want to add more, like for the why important to have a leading function. You guys give us like because leading perform a variety of responsibility that critical to an organization's success, and it's true. And you give us like what is the effective leadership will give us, like to improve, to boost engagement, inspire the employee. But I just want to add more, like we can see that from the organization behavior, like from the behavioral approach we have studied before, and on the OB advocate, they have mentioned they believe that people or the worker were the most important asset to the organization and should be managed accordingly. So we can see that the worker is the employees have played important key for the company success. So leading skill is the way for them to get the best out of the human resources, use the human resources effectively. And so I think that you guys can conclude that the listening function will help us to contribute the employee productivity and loyalty, and the way employee manage affect the organization financial performance. So I just want you guys, like, you have list everything, and I want you to conclude the big idea, the main topic from your part, and also for the challenges. You guys have mentioned most of the thing, and it's very it's very important. All the challenges is very important for the manager to consider. And for the recommendation, I think that you guys have give us all the recommendation, and that the manager should consider to develop themselves, and they also need to have some soft skill, like some skill requirement for the leading, like communication skill. Yeah, to talk, to let people know what is going on. So you say that there's the employee will not know the company plan. So the communication skill is very important in this case. Yes. That is the end of my comment. And now I'm going to ask you two questions. I'll wrap up two questions for you guys. First, I think that leading function is involving to working and dealing with the people, with employees. So I think that there's some challenges, like dealing with variety of personality, and also there's a challenge which is ethical issues. There's some issues. So I would like you to think what is how do the manager cope with the variety of employee personality? And second one is, how do manager ensure the employee professional ethic? So I'm going to write the question in the chat box so you can see it.
Okay, thank you for very detailed detailed comment from Khánh Linh. And Khánh Linh will type some questions for you. Okay, you can see it now. From my perspective, I'm very happy about your presentation. I really enjoy watching it because you had high fluency in your speaking, and the structure of the presentation was very clear, easy to follow, very concise, very comprehensive, and it's also very informative. Okay, it's good that you know how to emphasize some interesting points, such as the difference between the leader in the past and the leader in the present. So it's like kind of very interesting information for the audience. I just have a suggestion that I could expect more a deeper focus on a case study, on a particular example, so that we can have a consideration of a real case study in the industry or in the reality. We can do some analysis, and based on that, we can point out some lesson learned. I would expect more focus on a case study like that. For the rest, overall, the presentation is quite good, and it's also not boring at all. It's very attractive. Okay, I would like to add one more question. You mentioned very clearly the difference between the leader in the past and the leader now, but everything had two sides, the good side and the bad side. So I would like to ask for some ideas about the negative sides of leader in the modern world. What you think would be the disadvantages of being the leader in the modern world? I would type it here. Some negative points of some negative points regarding the leader in the present. So we understand that the leaders has changed a lot. The role of the leader has also transformed significantly. So we can witness more advantages, more positive outcomes from the transformation, but everything has two sides. So obviously there would be some negative impacts. So might you consider some negative points regarding the leader's roles in the present, in the modern world? Okay, I think that you will need more time for preparation. So maybe you can discuss with your um, in your team, you can have more discussion, and then within today, can you type your answers in the Zalo? Is it okay? So just to make sure that you have more time for thinking and for analysis. So later, please type your answers in the Zalo because I need to switch to another content now.
Yeah, okay, teacher. Thank you for your comment and thank Camden for your comment and your question. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you everyone. So now I would like to show you very quickly some left content of the chapter 3. So previously we were working on the role of the managers in managing the external and the internal environment. We understand the symbolic and omnipotent of the manager, the symbolic view and the omnipotent view of management. So now at home, please make sure that you go through on the slides and you understand the distinctive characteristics of each dimension of environment. Now I would like to talk a bit about the culture. Okay, one of the internal environment factors is the culture. So talking about the culture, what does it mean? The organizational culture. So, okay, the culture is a system of the shared meanings and common beliefs held by organizational members that determines in a large degree how they act towards each other, the way we do things around here. So the culture is built up based on different factors such as the values, symbols, rituals, myths, and practice. Okay, and we have some implications about the culture. Culture is a perception. Culture is shared. Culture is agreed on, and culture is descriptive. So in every organization, if they have strong culture, it can help them to maintain a good controlling mechanism, controlling system if they have a strong culture, because the culture it represents the consistency, it represents the harmony between different departments within an organization, and it helps to ensure the understanding and the agreement of everyone in the mutual beliefs and in the common goals of the whole organization. So these are some dimensions of organizational culture that you may consider. It involves stability, people orientation, outcome orientation, innovation and risk-taking, team orientation, and the attention to detail. You can read it more, better clarification. Overall, the organizational culture, it is established, constituted by many different factors, and it can help to ensure the consistency, the shared understanding, and the agreement, the commitment of everyone in the same goals of the business, in the same direction of the new business. Okay, we have strong versus weak cultures. So what is the difference between the strong and the weak culture? Okay, the strong culture are the cultures in which key values are deeply held and widely held. A strong culture can have a strong influence on organizational members. So for example, if you are a new member, you are a newbie in an organization, they have very strong culture. So in order to adapt to the new environment, you need to understand the culture and you need to adapt to the culture. And based on that, you will comply with the rules and regulations of the organization. You will comply with their policy. You will understand why people in the organization behave in such certain ways, and you can follow them more easily. So the culture, understanding the culture and adapting to the culture would help you to be a part of the organization, to join the organization more effectively. Okay, factors influencing the strength of culture, it includes the size, the age, the rate, the strength, and the clarity. So the larger size of the organization would lead to more difficulties in building up and in strengthening the culture because it's too large. The scale is large means that they can operate on a larger number of branches. So it means that it's harder to control all the branches, on the different subsidiaries of the organization, and it's harder to maintain the consistency in the culture. And if your organization has the old age, it means that if your organization has been established long time ago, it has the old age. So maybe the culture has been established very firmly and very solidly already. So it can enhance the strength of the culture. So if you have the higher strength of the culture, it is easier to retain your employees. It's easier to maintain the employee loyalty, the employee engagement, and it can help to reduce the turnover rate of the employees. So the strength of the original culture can help to bring so many different benefits to the organization and can help to clarify the cultural values and beliefs. Rồi, chúng ta đang nói về culture. Culture thì mọi người biết là văn hóa. Một cái nền văn hóa vững chắc có thể giúp cho một tổ chức có thể kiểm soát được cái nguồn nhân lực của họ một cách tốt hơn. Giống như là khi các em bước vào một công ty mới thì đó là một new family, một gia đình mới, thì các em phải thích nghi được với gia đình đó. Thì để thích nghi được, các em cần phải hòa nhập với văn hóa. Ở một nơi có một nền văn hóa mạnh có nghĩa là sẽ có consistency, tức là có một cái sự đồng nhất trong suy nghĩ và cách thức hành xử, cách thức phản ứng, trong quan điểm sống, trong cái hệ giá trị, hệ niềm tin của mọi người. Chúng ta có chung một niềm tin, chúng ta có chung một cái quan điểm, chúng ta có chung một phương hướng, chúng ta dễ đồng lòng với nhau hơn, chúng ta tin tưởng nhau hơn và chúng ta sẽ hoạt động với nhau, làm việc với nhau một cách đoàn kết hơn, vững chắc hơn và mối liên hệ mật thiết nó rõ ràng hơn. Thì cái đó là đặc tính của những nơi có nền văn hóa mạnh. Văn hóa mạnh nó sẽ giúp cho control một cách dễ dàng hơn, leading một cách dễ dàng hơn. Như vậy là trong 4 chức năng quản trị là hoạch định, tổ chức, lãnh đạo và kiểm soát á, thì chúng ta thấy là cái việc mà có một nền văn hóa mạnh nó sẽ giúp cho cái chức năng organizing, leading and controlling nó dễ dàng hơn rất là nhiều. Còn planning thì dĩ nhiên là nếu mình có một nền văn hóa mạnh thì nó sẽ giúp cho mình trong cái việc planning là mình có thể nhìn xa hơn, nhìn rộng hơn, và cái việc planning của mình nó cũng có cơ sở dễ dàng hơn. Đó, thì các em hình dung nó là như thế. Thì strong cultures có nghĩa là mình có cái niềm tin vững chắc, có một cái sự đồng lòng giữa mọi người với nhau và có một cái sự nhất quán trong suy nghĩ và hành động. Ví dụ như là cái công ty đó họ có cái giá trị đó, họ có cái tầm nhìn đó, họ có cái logo đó, họ tuyên bố là họ sẽ trở thành một công ty đi đầu trong lĩnh vực gì đó chẳng hạn đi, thì đó là một cái mission, là giống như là một cái tầm nhìn mà họ đặt ra trong tương lai ha, mình gọi là một cái vision đi. Rồi một cái mission là một cái sứ mệnh mà họ đặt ra là công ty này tồn tại để mang lại những giá trị tốt đẹp cho xã hội, cung cấp những sản phẩm chất lượng nhất cho khách hàng và người tiêu dùng đó, ví dụ như vậy. Thì khi mà họ có cái vision và cái mission đó mà họ lại có một cái strong culture thì tất cả mọi người trong tổ chức của họ đều hiểu cái vision và mission, đều rất là đồng lòng, đều rất là quyết tâm hướng vào cái vision và mission đó, đều cố gắng để mà đóng góp mồ hôi, công sức và năng lượng để có thể đầu tư vào cái sự thành công của công ty. Tất cả mọi người đều sẽ đồng lòng, sẽ cố gắng, sẽ hỗ trợ cho công ty, sẽ đóng góp công sức vào công ty, bởi vì họ hiểu và họ tin tưởng lẫn nhau, họ tin vào cái tầm nhìn chung, họ tin vào cái vision chung, tin vào cái mission chung. Như vậy nếu chúng ta có một cái nền văn hóa mạnh thì nó là một cái công cụ để mình có thể thắt chặt tình đoàn kết nè, có thể lãnh đạo tốt hơn nè, sắp xếp tổ chức công việc dễ dàng hơn nè, và kiểm soát một cách tốt hơn nữa. Đó, thì cái đó là những cái sức mạnh mà những cái giá trị mà culture có thể mang lại. Thì một cái nền văn hóa mà gọi là mạnh á, thì nó phải có sự thống nhất cao. Thì cái này nãy giờ cô nói rồi là nó phải có consistency. thì có những cái yếu tố nó sẽ ảnh hưởng tới cái strength of culture. Ví dụ như là một công ty mà có quy mô quá lớn, họ hoạt động ở khắp nơi trên thế giới, hoặc là họ có phạm vi phủ sóng toàn quốc đi, thì họ có quá nhiều chi nhánh, quá nhiều địa điểm, thì bởi vì cái size nó lớn nên là nó sẽ khó trong cái việc quản lý cái văn hóa hơn, tại vì mỗi nơi nó sẽ có cái văn hóa bản địa nữa, thì rất là khó để mọi người có thể đồng lòng với nhau và có thể chia sẻ với nhau về mặt văn hóa, nên là kích cỡ càng lớn thì càng khó kiểm soát. Còn age là về cái độ tuổi của cái doanh nghiệp đó đã được thành lập bao lâu. Nếu mà họ là doanh nghiệp lâu đời và họ đã được thành lập từ rất lâu rồi thì nó sẽ dễ dàng hơn trong cái việc là cái văn hóa của họ nó đã được tạo dựng từ lâu, thì nó có một cái giá trị vững chắc hơn, nó có cái nền tảng vững chắc hơn, và nó có dễ là có nói chung là dễ dàng cho mình trong cái việc là khiến cho cái nền văn hóa nó mạnh lên. Rồi, văn hóa mạnh sẽ giúp giữ chân nhân viên tốt hơn, giúp cho mọi người thấu hiểu hơn và cảm nhận được là ok, công ty này cũng là gia đình của tôi, cũng là family của tôi là một phần của họ và tôi phải đóng góp công sức vào cái gia đình của tôi sẽ không bao giờ quay lưng với gia đình của tôi, giống như vậy. Thì nếu như mà một nền văn hóa mạnh thì nó sẽ giúp đảm bảo cái loyalty, cái sự trung thành của nhân viên, giúp cho mọi người gắn bó hơn với tổ chức và giảm thiểu đi cái tỷ lệ mà nghỉ việc hoặc là ngưng việc làm hoặc là chuyển công tác, là rate of employee turnover nó sẽ giảm đi. Nói chung là cái sức mạnh của nền văn hóa nó rất là quan trọng, nó giúp đem lại nhiều lợi thế cho doanh nghiệp, và nó làm rõ những cái gọi là những cái values tức là gì? Values tức là những cái thuộc về niềm tin và cái quan điểm và cái sự kỳ vọng của doanh nghiệp. Ví dụ như doanh nghiệp đó họ tin tưởng vào cái việc là họ phải mang lại những giá trị cho khách hàng này, họ tin tưởng vào việc là họ phải đổi mới này, nâng cấp này, phải sáng tạo này, phải transforming này, thì họ tin tưởng vào những cái điều đó. Thì nếu như chúng ta có một nền văn hóa mạnh thì mọi người sẽ thấy cái điều đó một cách rõ rệt nhất và sẽ thấy là ok, đúng, chúng ta phải hướng theo cái tương lai như vậy. Chúng ta phải hướng theo là một doanh nghiệp đem lại những cái sản phẩm chất lượng nhất và giúp cho xã hội phát triển bền vững nhất, phải an toàn với môi trường, phải thân thiện với những thế hệ mai sau, và phải đổi mới công nghệ liên tục đó, ví dụ vậy. Thì họ phải có cái niềm tin và họ phải có cái quan điểm rất là vững chắc về những cái điều này, thì cái văn hóa mạnh sẽ giúp cho họ đảm bảo được điều đó. So you can consider some benefits of a strong culture in this slide. You can read it in more details at home. Okay. So again, a strong culture would help to foster higher organizational performance by instilling and promoting employee initiative. And it can add in the recruitment and socialization of new employees. So the sources of organizational culture would include the organization's founder, the past practices of the organization, the way things have been done previously. We already understand. We have been used to the way things that have been carried out so many years. So we are familiar with it. So we are familiar with the practices of the organization. So it's very it's very understandable and very easy for us to be on track. And the organization's founder, they also develop the vision and the mission of the organization, as I have mentioned to you. Continuation of the organizational culture. So in order to continue and strengthen the organizational culture and improve it in the future, we need to recruit employees who fit the organization. We need to make sure that the new ones who join the business, they understand our culture, they are a part of it, they can adapt to it, and they fit the culture of our firm. And the socialization of new employees can help them to adapt to the culture. So the ability to communicate, to socialize themselves in the new environment would be very important. Rồi mọi người hiểu là để mà giữ được cái nền văn hóa mạnh thì khi mà chúng ta tuyển dụng, chúng ta phải tuyển những người mà họ có những tố chất phù hợp với văn hóa của mình. Ví dụ như văn hóa của công ty mình là một công ty có tính kỷ luật cao, làm việc rất là khuôn phép theo phong cách 5S của người Nhật, là cái nguyên tắc 5S của người Nhật, các em có thể Google ha, nó có trên mạng á. Thì chúng ta muốn giữ được cái văn hóa đó thì chúng ta sẽ phải tìm những người nào cũng có cái tác phong làm việc cẩn thận, ngăn nắp, chỉn chu, cũng phải có một cái ý thức lao động rất là nghiêm túc, cũng phải rõ ràng rành mạch đâu ra đấy. Thì những cái người có tố chất như vậy sẽ phù hợp với cái văn hóa của mình, họ sẽ thích nghi được, họ sẽ trụ được và họ sẽ không có chán nản, và họ cũng sẽ biết cách là socialize, tức là họ sẽ biết cách hội nhập được với cái môi trường mới một cách dễ dàng hơn. Here in this slide, you can recognize some comparison, some differentiation between the strong cultures and the weak cultures. Again, the strong cultures include the values that are widely shared, and most employees can tell stories about company histories or heroes. They understand the business very well. They know about the stories of the founders. They know the vision, the mission. They understand the logo, the slogan, and they strongly identify with the culture. There is the strong connection between the shared values and the behaviors. So everyone, their thinking, their attitudes, and their behaviors would be very consistent with each other. So what they think, they behave in a consistent way. Okay, so what is included in their values, in their mindset, could be expressed via their behaviors. Meanwhile, the weak cultures would involve the values limited to a few people, usually just the top management, and the top management, they cannot transfer their belief to the below layers of managers because the culture is very weak. And the culture sends contradictory messages, so it lacks some consistency in thinking and in behaving of employees, in behavior of employees. Employees also have little knowledge of the company history or heroes, and employees have little identification with culture, and we just have little connection between shared values and behaviors. Okay, so you can review it very carefully, and please tell me if you don't understand anything. So I think that is enough for today. It's already 10:55 and we can finish now. The presenting group, please remember to upload your answers for the questions on the Zalo.